Hey gang, as always, I really enjoyed going in to take a look at some of the infographics, or some of the designs rather. Some of them were from infographics and some of them weren't. But taking a look at the images that you found for your source, the bad example, and then converting that to try and apply some of the concepts that we've been talking about throughout the semester. That really is one of my favorite parts of the class. I did, as always, leave some comments to help redirect or guide or ask some more probing questions to really help you think about refining your design. You all have the basics down. You've read the book, you've covered the material, and you've demonstrated that you can do the basic principles. So now we want to start to refine that design skill that you're developing. And for many of you being beginning designers, or for the few of you who may feel like you're more of an intermediate or an advanced designer. What I wanted to call your attention to for this week's wrap up, though, are the two examples on screen. So the top one is from Leslie, and she really hit home on an idea that I have a couple of comments about if you go back in and read the discussion. But that is the idea of when we mismatch the type of chart to the type of data being presented. In this case, they used kind of a modified pie chart to demonstrate percentages, yet clearly there's not 188% of HR professionals. Doesn't quite work. So pie charts are meant to convey parts of a whole. What if your data is not conducive to that? How else can you display it? And there's different ways we can do that. So in this case, Leslie's redesign takes advantage of focusing on the numbers and then trying to identify better icons. In this case, specifically the trampoline icon just seemed really out of place in the original graphic. Calisthenics aren't exactly flexible. You can jump on a trampoline and not be flexible. It was a weird message being sent by the icons. So she did two things with this redesign. One, tried to make it more conducive to the type of data being conveyed, and tried to find a better icon to convey a particular message. And that's something that we need to pay attention to. But even then, I think you might all find some interest or benefit from the comments I left related to the MTV bar graph. Bar graphs are interesting. They can be used in different ways, but does it always have to be a bar graph? Can you use visualization to send a slightly different message? In this case, I recommended using the classic MTV astronaut icon as a small figure for the first number and then increasing it over size. So then it becomes kind of a visual metaphor of a bar graph rather than an actual bar graph, being able to convey that data without using the creepy eyeballs from that example. That was a really good find on that one. The last one I want to mention here is the 3 water rules challenge. Now, this one was from Jennifer, and I thought she made some great points in her deconstruction. Primarily, that green is something special. It kind of hurts to look at. And I get that they're trying to use the icon of the Mr. Water Geek, and that's perhaps part of their branding. But you really get lost in the message here. Like, I'm not understanding necessarily that this is supposed to be rules or steps in a challenge. So, what she did was turn it into something more conducive. Water isn't anywhere highlighted in the message conveyed in the original design. You see it in the title. You notice that you should drink a gallon of water a day in the first rule. But then I don't understand that water is the point if I'm just glancing at this. On the other hand, her redesign makes water the central focus of that entire message. So anyway, these are just two things I wanted to really highlight that I thought were good examples of how to bring the focus back around or try to use a better form of depiction of data. So with that, let's take a look at this week's topic. Please use the links on screen to navigate to the section of the overview you wish to access.